Hello everyone, welcome. This is my presentation on accommodated testing. We're going to go over how to request accommodations, or schedule a test rather, with the ATSD first. So, how to request a test. First of all, you must be registered with ODS and notify the professor for each course you plan on doing these requests for before to let you do it, really.
Just a quick interjection. If you go to our YouTube channel and you go to our Learning Disabilities and Accommodations video, you can find a explanation for how to get accommodations through ODS and how to get registered with ODS, which is required for the rest of this presentation. So you're going to go to the Learning Disabilities and Accommodations video, and then you can use these handy time codes down in the bottom here to click on how to get accommodations, and it'll skip you right to the part in the video that will tell you all about how to find accommodations. And you can always scan this QR code to find the links to everything that you need to know. Alright, now back to the video.
So be registered and have the accommodations, and then go to ods.txstate.edu, that website. You request a test from the ODS website, not from the ATSD website, which I thought was confusing, but it'll take you directly to this window, and then click on alternative testing right there.
The most confusing window in the world.
Yeah, it's a very overwhelming window. Then, select a class from that little drop-down menu, and then press schedule an exam, and then it'll just, you pick the time and date that you want to take the exam on.
Cool.
One thing you want to keep in mind is there are 3 categories: quiz, test, and final, which is kind of confusing because a final usually is a test, but not here, it's a final. It's a specific thing. So if you're requesting finals, put in a request for a final and you just say test, that's not a request for a final, it's a separate request. And the reason it's a separate request is because you need 10 business days in advance to request a final. For all other things, it's 3. Where is the ATSD? People ask me this all the time. It's underneath Commons Dining Hall. So you go to Commons, turn left, and then you'll see a little staircase down into a basement, and then you'll see a bunch of signs that say TSI testing this way, go the other way, because you're not doing the TSI, right?
So you go the opposite direction of the sign.
Yeah, and then it's right there. And then you go over there and someone's at the desk and they'll say, "Hey, what's up?" And you just say, "I'm here to request a test," or "I'm here to test." It has gotten better recently, because when I was first coming here, anytime before COVID, you actually had to print out the letter physically and take it personally to each professor and have them sign it.
That's great for people to age. That's totally good.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. It was that's my disability, is that thing.
I would have felt all about
The idea is you take it to there and you're in their office, so then you get to have a conversation about them, this is what I need. No professor wanted to do that. It was just really awkward. I'd come in and be like, "Oh, a disabled kid. All right, let's sign this, please, just don't."
Please do not make eye contact.
Yeah.
But I did that for 2 of my professors, and the other ones I was like, it's just not worth it. So they've done the AIM, the new system they rolled out just this semester. I really like it so far. I think it's good.
Cool.
Okay, so let's get to the tips section.
Ooh.
This is something that I think a lot of people might not be aware of, but if you have accommodations like extended time, reduced distraction environment, something like that, you can just send a letter to your professor, right? And then just say, "Hey, can I just stay later in the classroom?" Something like that. If you have accommodations and you notify your professor that you have them, if you and the professor both want to, you can just stay later or just do whatever it is you need in the classroom, in the department. And in the past, I've had professors actually email me and say "Hey, I noticed you wanted to take a test in ATSD. Is it all right if you just stay later?" or something like that. For me personally, whenever I've done that, I have regretted it and wished I'd gone to the ATSD, because they don't typically understand the reduced distraction environment, which is very important for me. I get real distracted. It's important to know that the student has the right to use the ATSD even if the professor prefers to accommodate in the classroom, something like that. And here's from the official ATSD resources for faculty website, just saying what I just said. Yeah, and this from the ATSD resources for students. Which assessments are eligible for the ATSD? The short answer is basically all of them. The only ones that aren't really are like a take-home exam that is due in like 2 weeks, something like that. But yeah, if it's an online test, yes, it's eligible. You can take it into ATSD. They'll give you a laptop there to take it. Whenever I've done that, they've asked me, they've emailed me and said, hey, do you want to bring your own laptop or do you want us to provide it? Yeah, and my little other bullet point down there. If you have extended time, you should also be able to get like online quizzes assigned for homework extended. Like if your professor does like, oh, here's a quiz, go ahead and sometime take it home. You have 10 minutes to do it. Well, give me 15 minutes. That's what I say. Remy pro tips, as Kat would say.
What's it?
If the test is open note, like it's a test, but it has like other conditions on the test, like you're allowed to bring one sheet of notes, front and back. The professor has to say that to the people at ATSD, otherwise they're not going to know. And if you try to bring your notes in, they're going to be like, what's that? Don't bring that in. I've had professors forget to do this before. And like, I've never not taken it with the notes or something like that. Actually, one time the professor forgot to say that it included notes, and I showed the person at the ATSD, like, here, on the Slack for this class, they said I could use the notes, and they're like, okay, fine. You can
Shout
go.
out to Slack.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Don't be caught,
Yeah, Slack.
don't be caught slacking.
Yeah, so because of this, I always, if there's like a test with open notes, I always just email the professor and say, hey, did you actually do it? Did you actually say that I can have notes there? You know, because it's really important. I think it's worth emailing them. Something to just point out, you won't be able to ask your professor questions during the exam. You just won't be able to because they're far away. So that's something to consider. You should always come in 30 minutes before the test is scheduled, especially during finals. They are slammed in finals. It's extremely busy. So like, I would strongly recommend coming in 30 minutes before, just in general. ATSD has provided laptops for me for online exams. It says on their websites they don't have like rulers, calculators, things like that. The only thing they say they'll definitely provide is scratch paper and pencils, I think. And schedule finals for the time closest to the time listed on the official final schedule. That's technically a rule that you're just supposed to, like, you have to do that. However, no one told me that. So in the past, I've just not done that, and no one seemed to care. But just officially consider that it's a rule. And if you want to have a different time, you're supposed to like email someone. I don't remember. It's on the website. And
Yeah.
ask for like an exception.
Remy says, follow the rules unless you don't want to.
Yeah.
That's the official AX stance.
Yes.
As we are recording right now.
So yeah, that's the lowdown, the rundown on how to get your testing accommodated.